Nintendo, we need to talk. In the olden days, I would buy games purely to play them. In the olden days, the before times. And with the release of the Switch, something clicked in me. And I'm not sure exactly what it was, but it reignited that passion for having all of the games again. Previously, I would have been quite happy, just having the games that I wanted to play and the ones that I wanted to replay. And I wasn't ever going out and buying games. How do I explain it? I wasn't actively hunting for video games. If there was a new release and it looked interesting, I would get it. But it wasn't as much that I was avidly hunting and trying to find these games. Nintendo Switch changed that for me in a massive way. And as you can see back there, I'm currently sat at over 200 physical Switch games. It was something about the cartridge that reminded me of Nintendo 64, which again got me back into wanting to pick up the N64 collection where I could. I recollected an SNES, which I never had in my childhood, and started collecting games there. And for that, I'm going to be forever grateful. My wallet isn't, but I'm very grateful to the Switch for that. What happened since is that collection grew and grew and grew until what you see today. And over the past year or two, I have noticed a strange change in video games, especially for the Nintendo Switch, well, pretty much exclusively for the Nintendo Switch. And that's when you have a code in a box. Previously, if you wanted a download code for a game, it would come on a card. You get it on a bit of a slip of paper, something like this. You just get it directly from the whatever the relevant video game store was, storefront. So PSN, Xbox Live, this sort of thing. And they changed that to a code in a box. That was a nice idea. It's a nice idea for gifting people presents, I thought. But it unfortunately has gradually changed to where it seems like that's the norm. I got excited recently. A game that I've really wanted to come to the UK was the Chrono Cross remaster. So I have Chrono Cross for the PS1 US version. And when they said they'll bring it to the Switch, I was super excited. Only to find out that we weren't getting a physical version in the UK. So that's been on my import wish list for a while. And out of nowhere, I saw that it was suddenly available in Argos, in Currys, and £16 for this game that to import would have been 45. Until I noticed that ever lingering, frustrating white box at the bottom of a Switch game saying code only, code in box. If you go onto Argos, Smiths, Currys, go onto a lot of these websites, put it in price order. Look at the vast amounts of games that are code in box. I'm sure there are huge amounts of parents who have no idea what they're buying or grandparents buying their children these gifts, grandchildren these gifts, and don't realize what they are gifting. And to most people, I guess it wouldn't really matter. To some, it does. To people like me, it does. Game preservation is massive. It's super important. And for a collector, the ability to have something physical is massive. You just need to look at the Wii Shop closure. The fact that all these games that were available to people, these huge collections that people had, potentially gone unless you downloaded it to your console pre the cutoff. But not everyone would have been aware of that. And I know Sony were talking about doing it with the handheld, with the Vita and the PSP. And let's face it, that's on the horizon. So I personally desperately need to find a massive memory card or two to back up all my Vita and PSP download games. That's partly why now I'm a purely physical collector. And I just want to show you what a Switch case should look like. So this is what a Switch case should look like. Nothing on the bottom, nothing on the top. It is the game. So other than the code in boxes for Switch, why am I doing this video? What's the point? We all know about those code in boxes. We've all seen it. Well, that's the new card system for Switch 2. And I don't know how I feel about it. And I'd like to know what you think. So with Switch 2, first-party games are coming out on 64 gigabyte cards, just as all the games would have done previously. They also offer a smaller version card, and that card is what they're calling a game key card. So it's glorified code in a box. The advantage of this game key card is it means that what you can do is you can resell that game. You only need the cartridge to put it into your console to then download. So no code, it's reusable as many times as you want. So that's good, so long as the network is live, so long as you have space on your device. But the scary thing is, I say scary, is it scary? This is just video games. It's such a first world problem. But as a collector of Nintendo, the surprising thing is, it means we're no longer going to be able to collect these physical games in the way we have done before. And what's shocking is all third-party publishers, bar CD Projekt Red, who are releasing Cyberpunk on card, but all the other publishers have opted for the code on a key code cart option. There's one glaring reason why they've done this. There's one glaring reason, which is that it's cheaper. It is much cheaper, that card, than it is to have a standard card. The other thing that could potentially be an issue is that there was talk that Nintendo were quite late to getting these options out to people. So maybe the developers and publishers just went with the quick, easy option to get their games out for release. And maybe that will change down the line. It might not. And it just seems really crazy that it's only Nintendo games now that are all there on the card when you buy it. So let's say you bought one of these games and you're staying in a hotel and you don't have access to the internet. Well, then you don't really have the game. And Nintendo have recently updated their policy user agreement, and in it, those downloaded games aren't yours; they're theirs. They're allowing you to use them for the priority, the time that you have them. Whereas obviously with a physical game, that's yours. You can do what you want with it. You can sell it. You can chuck it down the toilet. You can literally, it's yours to do with what you wish. And yeah, I don't know how I feel. I'm torn because I'm both sad that they've done this, for the preservation side of things, for the historical side of video games, for the fact that one day these cards will be useless. You can pick up an Atari game now, put it in an Atari ZX Spectrum game. These games will work. You will be able to play them. Well, as long as you've looked after them. That's not going to be the case with these new Switch cards, as far as anyone's aware. And just the pure amount of these that are already there, the pure amount, every single Switch game at release, bar CD Projekt Red Cyberpunk, is a game download. And the other part of that is the size. Like, you're not going to be able to keep all your games. I have 200 Switch games. If that was the case, then I'm not going to be able to keep them on my console. The positive that I'm looking at this, and it is a small positive, is that I no longer have a desire to buy them. So in terms of buying games, I feel like it's a massive positive for me. I'm going to save a lot of money because I don't want to buy these codes and cards. I do have one pre-ordered, and just for transparency, it's because I'm curious and I want to know what it's like. It's the cheapest one I can find. It was Bravely Default Flying Fairy, so the remake. It was about £30, so I grabbed that for release. And I want to see what it's like, see what they do to the card. It's really obvious. So we'll have to wait and see. And I will update when the Switch comes out on that release a bit about these key cards. But I really want to know what you think. Throughout this video, I think I'll have popped up some little clips showing some information from Nintendo. But I want to know what you think. Is this something that even crosses your mind? Is it something that's worth thinking about? I hope it does change. I hope that third parties do come out and they opt for the bigger card, they pay a bit more. To be honest, I'd prefer they do that and just price their games accordingly, up the price. Let's take that. It's unfortunate that Nintendo have done it, but give us the option. Don't force me into a downloadable digital world, because when that does happen, I'm quite happy to just have my Xbox Game Pass, to have my PlayStation Plus network, Essential, and all that stuff. there's games that I can play that way, and then I can just keep buying my retro games in their physical format from over 30 years ago that I can still play today. Been a bit of a different video, this one. Let me know what you think. I've no idea how this one's going to do, but yeah, just had to get it out. Until next time, I've been Beyond Joe, and thank you for joining me in my little world.